to a crucible. This is the key to a crucible that stretches the sanity. Crucible. This is the key to a crucible. That stretches the sanity of the mind. This is the key to a crucible that stretches the sanity. Rot, spoil, and fester.
Exile, do something! Into the abyss.
Hey, what's up guys, and welcome back to another Path of Exile build review video. For today, I will be showcasing my 19,000 Hybrid Guardian low life righteous fire build. Now, this is basically a monstrosity that can do anything in the game, like Deep Delve, Uber Elder, 6 players Uber Elder maybe, like I've done 2 players Uber Elder, 3 players Uber Elder solo. You can do up to 6, and like it's so freaking tanky that like it just can't die. And it also has like lots of damage and stuff. So yeah, I will be going over this build. Now I have something important to say at the start. I did review this build like 2 months ago with cheaper items and, you know, like a budget variant of this build. Although some items did not change, this build have gone like 3 times in price up. We are using like top end things, and but still, like if you have the currency, you can duplicate this build like almost 100%. We're using lots of unique items. We're using like generic jewels, energy shield, you know, mana attributes. You don't need crits and like the expensive mods, you know, just the basic idea of how to craft your own items. And like you see, like this scepter right here is just multi-modded, the ring is multi-modded, you know, same here, and the rest is basically uniques. Yeah, so you need to have basic idea on how to craft your own items in order to duplicate the non-unique items in this build. Now, the previous video took 1 hour and 30 minutes. Like I talked about every single detail you need to understand about low life righteous fire, and on the top of the gameplay I showcased 5 minutes ago. I don't want this video to be like the same thing as the previous one. So if you don't know the basics behind like righteous fire, how it works, and like the interactions in this build, just go watch the previous video. You will see a link to it in the bottom of this video description. So yeah, in this video I will mostly showcase the changes. I will talk about the new skill tree that is compatible with Legion, and I will tell you like what's the best corruptions that you want to have on your items, and you know, stuff like that. So let's start with the basics. Okay, now we are Guardian, Templar ascended into Guardian. Now we are Guardian. Basically the best way to play low life righteous fire is to be a Guardian, because, you know, with Guardian you get more energy shield out of your reserved mana and more armor out of your reserved life, thanks to the unwavering faith ascendancy. No, not this one. Radiant faith ascendancy, which gives you, yeah, as I said, armor and energy shield out of your, you know, mana and life. So you would want to run the low life version using Shavs, and reserve your life using blood magic and enlighten in combination with 2 auras. I will go over what gems you want in your items in a second, but they are not different from the previous video if you have watched it. So in general, this build have gotten lots of buffs in the Legion update thanks to the changes in the tree. These nodes over here, like they are like heavens for this build. They give you mana, they give you energy shield, and like basically your mana translate into more energy shield. So these nodes here, they give you more energy shield than any build can get from basic nodes in the tree in this entire game. So also this cluster here, which gives you more intelligence and percentage increased intelligence, they're like, that's a lot of intelligence and, you know, more energy shield, and this 8% percentage increased intelligence, like we have over 700 intelligence in this build. You can understand how much energy shield you can get from these 3. Like I think that was 1000 energy shield, I don't know. And yeah, the rest of the stuff, like oh yes, here, Soul of Steel, 1% to all maximum elemental resistances. Like this is just broken. We already have, like, without this we have around 83% all maximum elemental resistances. With this we have 84, with the exception of cold resistance. So yeah, it's just like self-explanatory, like so broken. More armor, more all elemental resistances, and it's not too far away from the starting position. So yeah, let's start from the starting point. You would want to take this route. Basically, taking these is not efficient. I will tell you why in a second. Now, we go for Sanctity, literally the best node on the tree for energy shield and, you know, tanky energy shield builds. You go bottom, you grab combat stamina, life regen, you know, intelligence, energy shield. Now, since we are damaging ourselves with Righteous Fire, you would want, you know, more life regen as much as possible. 1% increased maximum fire is, like, that's amazing. Jewel Socket, Warrior's Blood, the highest amount of life regen you can have on the entire tree from a single node. And yeah, we go bottom to the new node, Soul of Steel, because that 1 to all maximum element resistance is broken off. Now, we go to the right, Shaper, you know, more life regen. Here, our Watcher's Eye. Now, Watcher's Eye, since, as I said in the start of this video, this is not a cheap version of this build. You know, like 19,000 energy shield. Should be obvious that it's not cheap. You need around 200 exalts. Half of that goes just for the Watcher's Eye. So, you would want 2 nodes. You would want the gain percentage of your mana as energy shield, and you would want ES recovery while affected by discipline. Now, these 2 mods alone, the ES recovery mod is 3x, and the ES from mana is around 10x, 10 exalts, depending if you are playing in League, in Standard, you know. So, what you want to do if you are starting on a budget or like just starting this build in a league, you would want to start with the ES recovery mod so that you can actually start using Righteous Fire, because most builds, they just can't sustain it at the start. They just end up killing themselves. And then you would want to upgrade your Watcher's Eye into gain, you know, the ES from mana clarity mod. You can actually abandon the ES recovery mod and just get energy shield recovery on your shape build in order to compensate for that, and then immediately switch to the clarity mod. You don't need both unless you are like in the absolute end game. Like, I got this jewel for over 100 exalts, so yeah, this should be your absolute like ultimate target for this build. But you don't have to start with it. Just start with the ES recovery mod, 3 exalt Watcher's Eye generic stuff, then upgrade to the ES from mana clarity mod. So yeah, we go top, we take elemental equilibrium. I'm not gonna explain how it works. I did explain it in the previous video, but just like basically we use Orb of Storms. They take lightning damage, they get lightning resistance and reduced resistance to other elements, and that just allows our Scorching Ray and Righteous Fire to nuke them down. We take Foresight, energy shield. We go here, another jewel socket. I have Emperor's Mastery. This is a, you know, a special jewel. You don't need it. You can have, you know, generic stuff, you know, Cobalt Jewel, energy shield, mana, attributes, all that stuff. We take Bane Attunement because we are low life. Like, duh, why don't you want to deal 1/3 more damage? Like, that's free. We go here, this amazing node, Arcane Will, that was introduced in the previous update. Gain 4% of your maximum mana as extra energy shield. Like, wow, that's amazing. Next we go for Arcane Focus, more ES. We take these nodes. Strength, you know, by default, strength does nothing to your energy shield. But because we are using Shaper's Touch, that makes it so that strength now gives you energy shield just like intelligence. So, since we, generally speaking, as a Templar who starts in a strength area, who like path a lot on strength nodes, you know, that's not very efficient, but with Shaper's Touch, that becomes energy shield. So yeah, you would want to take strength whenever possible, because that's equals to intelligence here. Next, we take Jewel Socket, and you would want ES on all your jewels. You would want mana, you would want intelligence and strength, like everything that boosts your energy shield by adding attributes or just like flat mana or energy shield. And you can have burning damage, you can have fire damage, you can have resistances if you need resistances. Here I am like almost above 100. You should aim for 120 if you just want like to forget about your resistances forever. Just like you need to have slightly higher than me. So yeah, you do that by just switching one of your jewels. You will have slightly less energy shield, but yeah, not too much less. Next we go for Written in Blood, more energy shield, more life, which translate into more armor. As I said, reserved life is armor, reserved mana is energy shield. Don't forget that. Next we go for Growth and Decay. You know, this cluster over here will give you a total of 2% of life regeneration per second. And in addition to damage over time, which scales our Scorching Ray and our Righteous Fire. You know, there are damage over time, so yeah, great stuff. Yeah, yes, here we go for Aura Effectiveness and less reservation. You know, you need at least to have around let's see, 4%. Here also 8%, 12%, 18%. Yes, you need 18% reduced reservation in order to be able to reserve your 99% of your mana. I'm sorry, yes, 99% of your mana and 99% of your life using level 21 Blood Magic and level 4 Enlighten support. Like, it doesn't work with anything less than that, but if you can't afford to buy Enlighten Gem, just go for this node over here, additional 4% reduced mana reservation. This allows you to buy level 3 Enlighten, which is way cheaper than level 4. But yeah, like, pathing here 3 nodes, they are basically wasted unless you actually upgrade into level 4 Enlighten. So yeah, you should go for these at the start of the league if you are playing leagues, or if you just can't afford to buy level 4 Enlighten gems. Go here, take this, and use level 3 Enlighten gems. This should like reduce the budget of this build by a lot. Oh yes, yeah, we finished the right side of the tree. We go left, Jewel Socket, Elemental Overload. We let our Orb of Storms crit, so that we gain the Overload buff, which basically 40% more damage if we have crit in the past 8 seconds. Next, we take this amazing cluster of mana and energy shield. Like, this here is 2000 energy shield for me. Like, that's a game changer for those who play Low Life Righteous Fire. They understand that every point of energy shield at the end game, like that, it means more than the amount of energy shield you gain at the start of the game, at the start of your build. So, you know, each point of energy shield here, each point here is like lots of energy shield for me, which like means a lot for this build. You know, strength, as I said, strength is intelligence basically in this build. We go top, we don't grab this Jewel Socket. I don't like the 6% elemental damage. Like, these nodes here, they are not very good. You are wasting 3 points just to get a Jewel Socket over here, which is, you know, not very worth it for me. Anyway, we go to the right over here. We take a Natural Calm, just like these 3 nodes over here. They are like lots of energy shield. Bonus 1% to lightning maximum lightning resistance, like why not? We take these nodes, Mana Intelligence, like basically lots of energy shield. Here we take the Intelligence cluster, which was added in Legion, and Jewel Socket. We go to the left, we take Holy Fire. These 3 nodes over here, they give you, like, by investing 3 nodes here, you gain like lots and lots of damage. That's a very cheap investment for a lot of benefits. Like, just to put it in perspective, these 3 nodes over here, they give you 100 increased burning damage. Like, that's equal to going over here. Just to put it into perspective. It requires like 5 points investment, and these requires the 3, and going into one of these is equals to going for these 3. So you're basically getting 2 passive points worth of investment just by going over here instead of going over here. Well, you can go with these 5 nodes in addition to these 3 if you want to like boost your damage by a lot, but yeah, it's not very worth it. You might as well just invest these 2 points into more energy shield, because don't forget, you in this build, you don't have to feel like you need to boost your fire or burning damage in addition to boosting your energy shield in order to have damage in the end game. Like, we gain damage based on our energy shield. That's how Righteous Fire works. Either energy shield or life, the more of them you have, the more damage you deal. So you don't have to feel pressured into building lots of burning or fire damage. Just like boost your energy shield and the rest will be automatically boosted alongside it. Next, as I said, more mana reservation stuff. You need these in addition to these 3, nothing less. Otherwise you will be getting less boost out of your auras. We are running all 3 purities, which means that, you know, level 23 purity gives you 5 bonus to all maximum elemental resistances. Now, if you add 40% increased effect of your auras from the tree and from the ascendancy points right here, basically with exactly 40% plus, this makes a level 23 purity gives you plus 7% to your maximum elemental resistances instead of plus 5. So like, that's a lot of boost without a lot of investment on the tree. Next, we go down there for Faith and Steel, more armor, more energy shield, elemental resistances, pretty good stuff. And finally, we get another jewel socket. Now on your jewels you would want energy shield, mana, strength and intelligence, and like anything else, resistances, fire damage, burning damage. You know, try to have as many any of these mods on your jewels as possible, and yeah, just get as many of them as possible. Now the issue with this is that jewels with 4 mods like this one is perfect. It has attributes ES, fire and burning. This is a very expensive jewel, by the way, so you might not want to invest a lot on your jewels in the early game, especially that starting this build, like just getting to use Righteous Fire, requires that you already have spent around 20 exalts on your, just like the gear, not the jewels. So forget about your jewels, maybe just abandon taking jewel sockets at the start of the game and just take other generic nodes. And once you feel like you have done gearing up, just start unallocating these points and go take jewel sockets and like buy expensive jewels. So yeah, that was for the tree. I think I covered everything. Let's just talk quickly about your gear and jewel, I mean gems, gem links and stuff. So as I said, Shaper's Touch, you want mana, you want strength, you want, you know, these things boost your energy shield with this. And 20% of life is energy shield thanks to Presence of Chayula. By the way, I have skins installed on my items, so you know they are not what they are looking to be. So yeah, just keep that in mind. As I said, this build is around Shaper's Touch. So now anything you would want to have strength, intelligence, mana on everything basically to gain as much energy shield as possible. You see here I have 3,300 mana, so that translates into lots of energy shield. So yeah, let's talk about your other items. For Scepter, which is your weapon, you would want to get E-shaped Void Scepter with the one important mod, which is socketed gems are supported by Elemental Focus. Then you would want to multi-mod that into attributes, strength, damage over time, and mana. Here you would want to put your Scorching Ray. So basically we are running 4-link Scorching Ray with a 3-link Scepter. Now the thing is, I really want to run 6-link Scorching Ray and 6-link Righteous Fire using an Elder Helmet, but that's like, we really need sockets in this build. Like even with using one unset ring and running 4-link Scorching Ray, I wish if I had another socket in this build, but like I can't afford to swap this also for a unset ring because I need the resistances. Anyway, back to the weapon. So as I said, you would want to run Scorching Ray, burning damage, and the most degenerate gem that was introduced in 3.6 update, which is Infuse the Channeling. This is how it works. Now, Infuse the Channeling, aside from giving the supported skill 40% more damage, just like that, it makes it so that if you are channeling that skill, after 0.5 second, you gain the infused buff, which gives you reduced damage taken from the type of gem that you are channeling, which is linked with Infuse the Channeling. In our case, it's Scorching Ray. So Scorching Ray deals fire damage as we are channeling Scorching Ray. Now we are taking less fire damage, and that basically synergizes perfectly with Righteous Fire because we are constantly damaging ourselves. So as you are channeling Scorching Ray, you are gaining the infused buff, which allows you to basically take less damage from Righteous Fire. Also, it gives you 8% flat physical mitigation, just like that. Also, it gives you 10% more damage output of the same element type of the skill linked with Infuse the Channeling that you are channeling right now. So just by channeling Scorching Ray, now my Righteous Fire deals 10% more damage, and it deals 8% less damage to me in addition to 8% physical mitigation. So yeah, pretty degenerate gem indeed. This one is specifically made to be used in this build. Like, we used to use efficacy here, but it isn't even close to this gem effectiveness. Next, you want Shafts. Pretty straightforward. You don't need these expensive corruptions. They are not required. By the way, I corrupted this. I have posted the video on YouTube if you want to see it. It's the previous one to this. So yeah, here you would want to run your 6-link Righteous Fire. As this build is heavily concentrated around like lots of energy shield, it's more beneficial to run 6-link Righteous Fire and 4-link Scorching Ray. So yeah, you would want Righteous Fire, burning damage, efficacy, elemental focus, AoE, and conk effect together. This is the most efficient setup for Righteous Fire for like damage and mapping. You don't need to swap gems. You don't need to swap your gems between boss fights and mapping. Like, just run with this configuration and you should be fine. Next, you would want for your Helm, just get anything with lots of energy shield and life regeneration corruption. You know, I didn't talk about this, but some people know it already. Zealot's Oath converts all life regeneration into energy shield regeneration. That's how we sustain Righteous Fire, with our life regeneration, not energy shield regeneration. So having the life regeneration corruption on your Helm is like, that's broken. That's very broken. You would want to have this on any Helm that can hit 250-ish energy shield or more. So you would want to focus on the Vertex Val Mask. It's one of the cheap unique helmets in the game with lots of energy shield, and basically like lots of people are listing it with many different corruptions. So just be on the lookout for life regen as an implicit. Buy it, recolor it into 4 blue, run your Orb of Storms here. You would want Orb of Storms, crits, so that we can trigger Elemental Overload more often. Curse on hit and flammability, because you know we have one curse. Why don't we use it? Flammability makes it so that our enemies takes more fire damage. Yeah, pretty straightforward. Rings, you would want to buy incursion rings. You know, incursion rings, they have this unique hybrid mod which gives you T1 ES and Tier 1, maybe not New 1. The other part of the hybrid mod does not even exist as a separate mod. It used to exist as a crafted percentage maximum energy shield mod, but they removed it because it was way too powerful, even as a separate mod. Now, with incursion rings, you get Tier 1 ES, flat ES, and 10% increased maximum energy shield in a single mod. Like, I can't explain enough how broken that is. Now, you would want to buy this and, you know, just try to annul all the other mods until you have this one left. Then you would want to multi-mod. We are using 2 Betrayal mods here, 2 Syndicate mods. The Hybrid Life and Mana, and the Hybrid Strength and Intelligence. For the other generic crafts, you would want mana. You know, you can craft flat mana with the Hybrid, and you would want to craft either Strength or Intelligence or all attributes. It doesn't matter. You would want at least 1 unset rings. I will tell you why later. Now, other rings, same thing. You know, Hybrid mod, multi-mod, that's it. Now, the Incursion base goes for 2 Exalts, and most people, they just don't even try to annul it. So you will have to gamble, or you will pay around, you know, 5 to 10 exalts just to buy the rare base with this mod alone, and just basically ready to be multi-modded. So yeah, this can get pretty expensive. Let's say 10 exalts for each ring, depending on the pace, by the way. This is the cheapest base, and the most expensive one is Moonstone ring, but we don't need that. We can't afford to like lose this socket over here. You need 1 unset ring. Now, gloves, you really need 2 to the level of socketed aura gems, or to the level of socketed AoE gems. This will work on your auras. You would socket level 21 auras here so that they become level 23. This is important because the difference between level 23 and anything below that is 1% to all maximum elemental resistances. And because we are using aura effectiveness, having level 22 aura and level 23 aura will be a difference of 2 to all maximum elemental resistances. That's why you would want +2 to the level of socketed aura gems on your gloves. This goes for 2 exalts with perfect rolls. So you don't need the roll to be perfect. Just get one with... You don't even need quality on the item. You can find one with like just the corruption and that's it for 1 exalt, and the base is shit, but like that doesn't matter because this item does not roll like lots of energy shield or armor, and it's implicit. Just like, you know, if you are a perfectionist, you can get one with high rolls, but it doesn't matter really. Here you would want all 3 purities and level 21 purity and level 4 enlighten. Now this leaves us with, you know, around 30% mana left. We use it to run Architect armor and Clarity on your ring. Clarity will trigger the Watcher's Eye mod, which gives you more energy shield based on your mana. And Architect Armor, basically, it's a gem that made specifically for this build. It makes it so that you take less physical damage when hit and less fire damage when hit. This is intended to make you take less damage from your own Righteous Fire, not from the fire damage taken from enemy attacks. Also, it reduces their action speed by 30%. So that can be very powerful against endgame bosses that hit you for lots of damage very quickly. So yeah, that would be for auras that reserve your mana. This should be 99% of your mana. Now, these auras reserves your life thanks to level 21 Blood Magic and level 4 Enlighten. You would want Discipline, preferably Val Discipline, and Vitality, preferably level 21. Now, belt. Try to get a ship built with 20% ES recovery. This will help you to further sustain your Righteous Fire, and just like try to have as much energy shield as possible. You can have strength as a mod, like that's a very common mod for belts. It will give you lots of energy shield. Or you can spam fossils on your belt to get increased energy shield from body armor. So yeah, pretty straightforward. Other mods that you can have on your belt are armor, tier 1 flat energy shield, percentage increased energy shield. These are nice mods to have. And then craft the hybrid energy shield and armor prefix. So yeah. Amulet, as I said, Presence of Chayula. This is perfect and slot option for this build. We have lots of life. Although life is translated into armor, it would be more beneficial if we just like converted 20% of that into energy shield. We lose armor, but we gain lots of energy shield. And energy shield is more important in this build than armor. So shield, just get any generic shield with 400 energy shield. You can get with less, but just try to have resistance on it. I have triple resistances as a suffix. I exalted one of them and then corrupted the item for 10% more quality for more energy shield. Now, ultimately, you would want your shield to be a hybrid shield with evasion, because why not, right? And here we run shield charge and fortify. We don't run faster attacks because we need sockets. In the third socket, we run architect armor. So yeah, I don't have another socket to run faster attacks. So that's pretty much for the gearing. For flasks, I'm using Quicksilver with immune to curses. Sulfur flask with immunity to bleed. This gives you 40% more damage, and create consecrated ground, which gives you life regen, which translate into energy shield regen. And this does not gives you life or energy shield regeneration like as a flat on the flask itself, but since we have converted the life regen to energy shield regen, the consecrated ground now gives you energy shield regen. So this is basically your life flask in this build. So yeah. Next we go for Cinder Swallow. This is a Mastermind flask. You can only get it from the Mastermind boss encounter after you have beaten all the Syndicate members. This goes for, you know, perfect rolls like this. It goes for 5 exalts. The base alone with like bad rolls still requires divines. It can go for 2 exalts with the life regen craft. So not very expensive, but like very powerful you know, flask. It will give you onslaught, so mapping becomes auto at this point. Next you would want a ruby flask with immunity to freeze and chill. This will make you take less fire damage, which means that you heal faster because we are mitigating more righteous fire damage. And finally, go for any flask that can increase your physical mitigation. I went for granite because when I activate this flask, I basically have 25,000 armor. Like, that's ridiculous. By the way, you can run this with Molten Shell. Basically makes you completely immune to physical damage, even although we are already immune to physical damage thanks to our ridiculous defensive layers. We have 10,000 armor, we have 6,000 plus evasion. Oh, but yeah, by the way, our boots, we went for centric unique boots. You know, these are the only unique boots in the game that can go over 200 energy shield. The legacy version, that is, and with corruption. The non-legacy version with corruption gang can go to 185, I think. So it's not a very big difference. However, these boots are great because they also gives you evasion, which translate into more defensive layers for us. So yeah, this build is not just like flat energy shield. It's way so much than that. We have lots of elemental resistances. We have 30 positive chaos resistance. And yeah, the armor and evasion. And in addition to this, for Parthians, we have the Soul of Lunaris, which gives you, on the top of the 6,000 evasion, it gives you a 10% chance to avoid projectiles, which, by the way, it works with Shaper and Elder projectiles, which usually end up one-shotting other builds. So that's pretty great. We also get the ability to avoid projectiles that have chained, which is basically makes the Guardian of the Hydra useless against you. Like, the biggest danger there is the chained shot from the Hydra. Now, it no longer hits you because you will always avoid it. And 5% chance to dodge both attack and spell hits if you have been hit recently, which is like all the time. And you gain 1% movement speed up to 8% and 1% physical reduction for up to 8% for each enemy nearby, which makes mapping a lot easier and faster. But if you want one that's more specific for bosses, you might want to take the Soul of Solaris. But like still, the Soul of Lunaris, it's still very great against bosses. For the minor gods, we go for the Soul of Tokuhama. That's pretty much it. Yeah, so that's about it for this build. This build is basically capable of running everything, as I said at the start of the video. It can run, you know, 500 Depth Owl, 1000 Depth Owl. It can run Uber Elder, 6-player Uber Elder. It can do everything, literally. So, and by the way, that's with no mirror tier items. Like, as you can see, unique items, you know, multi-modded shit. That's pretty much it. If I invest into like a mirror tier belt and a mirror tier boots and a mirror tier Elder Helmet, I will have 22,000 energy shield, I think, without the shield. So yeah, that's pretty insane without any, you know, super expensive items of the end game. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you all in the next video.